Because there were some crazy games. There was some crazy comebacks once again. And that's where we're going to start here, because we did this last week too. The comebacks that are just mind-boggling, that you're like, all right, they might make it close, but there's no way this team will come back. I think we had 2 games that were 98% win probability for the team, and one of those games is right where we start, with the Dolphins coming back, beating the Ravens. Just a miracle. Amazing.
It's alive.
And here you go.
Tuanot's alive.
So this is what I'm saying. This is where we start.
Yeah.
Do you finally have to capitulate to the Tua lovers out there and say once and for all, you were wrong?
Well, I'm not saying I'm once and for all. I'm not going to say that in week 2, okay? I'm not going to do that yet. I'm not.
Yet?
No.
You're leaving the door open, though, that that's a possibility.
You know who I am.
Yeah.
I always try to keep it real. I'm not going to be stubborn and just go, well, I said this 3 years ago, and I'm never going to get off that pedestal, and I'm going to stay there forever. That's what idiots do, okay? So I'm not going to do that. No, we've seen encouraging signs 2 weeks in a row. Certainly that was special. I mean, that was special yesterday. That was amazing, like you're talking about. It really is. But at the same time, am I going to sit here and just go, oh, my gosh, I'm sold? He's definitely capable of bringing them deep into a playoff run? No, not exactly. I mean, as awesome as it was, and they're an awesome football team that's fun to watch, and there's talent everywhere on their football team, and that was a magical comeback. I'm certainly not taking anything away from that. I think we got to also be real in the situation of here. There was some unbelievably dumb shit the Ravens did at the end of the game too. So amazing comeback, and the pressure the Dolphins put on you on both sides of the ball, which, I think, hey, the first thing, the Ravens, they got embarrassed last year, right, on the Thursday night game with the all-out blitz package against the Dolphins, and they got upset. Remember, I think the Dolphins had 1 win during the year at that point.
Yeah.
That kind of jump-started them. There was a talk all this week about the Ravens. We got answers for this defense. We're going to be prepared this time around. Well, they were prepared. There's no question about that. They made some big plays against those everybody at the line of scrimmage look, whether it was the Lamar Jackson long touchdown run or even the Rashad Bateman 1-play 75-yard touchdown pass. So that was cool to see. That they kind of said they had a plan, and they showed it to us. But on the other side of the ball, kudos to Miami for hanging in there a little bit, and then really putting together a tough drive in the second half to make it 28-14. Great throw in the middle of the end zone to Gesicki, right? So now it's 28-14. Lamar breaks the long touchdown run on the next drive on a 3rd and 2, I believe, if memory serves me correct. But then from there on out, I think hey, Tua offense, McDaniel made a lot of great plays, kept being aggressive, all that. I think the concerning thing to me is just the Ravens are going to win the game if they can just make the Dolphins drive for a period of time. But the Dolphins scored so quickly and so abruptly that it was, of course, yeah, they had a chance to come back in the football game. And I think, again, as awesome as the plays were and the pressure they put on the Ravens defense, the Ravens with some monumental F-ups in the fourth quarter that certainly made it, more realistic for them to come back.
It was 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter in 15 plays to tie it up.
That's right. There you go.
That's insane. 15 plays is all it took.
That's insane.
For the Miami Dolphins to tie it up. And it was almost like, and correct me if I'm wrong here, there was a blown coverage out there.
Yeah.
They got some new pieces in the secondary due to the Ravens, and so they're still trying to figure it out.
Yes.
But it almost was like on a couple of, they just, the players themselves underestimated the speed of Tyreek Hill, it looked like.
I feel like it was all game long. It was. I was during the game yelling in the room going like, wait, how many times are they going to be in press situation, or the safety's going to be at 12 yards and Tyreek Hill's next to him and he's not going to respect his speed and let him get by him or threaten him, or either way. It was a little shocking. It was over aggressive. It goes back to our old saying. This is the thing too, where in the NFL, coaches are never wrong anymore as long as they say we were being aggressive, right? Well, you were up by 35 points, but we were being aggressive, so we kept blitzing. We were just aggressive. We were trying to win it right there. And I just, not that they were being crazy aggressive, but I think unnecessarily taking, chances that you didn't have to. And then I think to your point too, 2 new safeties in a system that's complicated. One's a rookie, Marcus Williams, first year coming from the Saints. And obviously, obviously there was miscommunication. When you have the long touchdown pass up the left sideline, right, to Tyreek Hill, there was definitely something wrong there. I don't know if it was Marcus Williams or Hamilton, Kyle Hamilton, excuse me, who was supposed to be over there. But either way, somebody was supposed to be over there. They were trying to make it look like a blitz look and then drop out to cover 2, and there was no cover 2 safety over there. So they made our man Jalen Armour Davis look bad because he just let Tyreek go by him, but he's supposed to have the safety there. The first touchdown before that, the post to the right. Again, that's one I'll be interested to watch on film a little bit because I don't know exactly. All I know is Marcus Peters was in a position where he was one-on-one. There was no safety help. And Hamilton was over on that side of the ball, but looking across the field like he was been coached to, hey, we want to put you here to scare them from throwing to Tyreek, but we're really going to have you look up for a crosser or something like that. So I don't know. Again, maybe he messed up. Maybe he was coached to do that, but those are things I got to see on film. Either way, good job by Tua and them taking advantage of those open plays there and, making a game of it. And then the clutch drive in the end really put him over the top.
He is the second youngest player since 1950. We like to go back to 1950. We don't like to go back before then.
It's a different game. Who cares about that? Yeah.
Second youngest player since 1950 with 450 passing yards and 6 or more touchdowns behind only Patrick Mahomes. I think, Kristen, do we have the graphic? Have we already shown it? The fourth quarter, the crazy fourth quarter. 4 touchdowns in just the fourth quarter alone. 13 completions, as you mentioned on the Peacock show last night. Plug for that show. 13 completions for 199 yards. They were stretching the field. Some blown coverages there. But we got a comment here from Brady Horn 26. It says, damn okay to Tua. We haven't even gotten to the damn okay section yet.
But he's giving it to him.
This
guy's a producer here.
I'm a big Dolphins fan. Finally started having some doubts about him in the first half yesterday. That's funny because I saw some tweets, too, from some Dolphins fans that said, if you think Tua's the answer, you're a homer.
Right.
Those are Dolphins fans.
Right.
So things changed in the second half. And he goes, but he shut me up right with the second half performance. I have the best I've personally ever watched. So Dolphins... here's the funny thing about it. We go back and forth. Tua, you've never been a huge fan of what Tua does on the field. You've loved him as a person. You've interviewed him before. Dolphins fans don't want to admit it, but that's why the hate comes at you so aggressively.
Yeah, right.
Because there are obviously doubts out there. What would he have to do to finally get you to say, maybe I was completely wrong about Tua?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty steadfast on this. Again, that was impressive, and the fact that he was cool and calm under pressure.
The Waddle touchdown where he moves up in the pocket, finds
that was
Waddle,
great.
throws it up.
The Craycraft one where he kind of spun out of the pocket, like 360 move. That's great. That's what he's good at. He is mobile like that. He is, shifty and crafty within the pocket. There's no doubt. But again. Hey, it's early season football. There's mistakes, and there's people wide open. I'm not going to sit there. That's not going to happen in Week 17. It's not going to happen in the wild card game where they're going to be like, whoa, look, they just happened not to cover Tyreek Hill in the fourth quarter. The game fell perfectly. And there was plenty of throws in the first half that were concerning as to the comments you're talking about social media. I mean, the interceptions were bad, right? I mean, but really, ultimately, in the second half, again, it was really good. But, I mean, guys were wide open all over the place. And if they can continue to do that, that's great. And then they're going to be a real Super Bowl contender here as we go forward, too.
Well, that's what I was going to say for my second point is maybe this is just really good team construction, right? Because every team's going to want a Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, obviously.
Right.
But maybe for a team with a quarterback that doesn't have necessarily that strong of an arm, that might need some wide receivers that are more playmakers.
No doubt about it.
It's like maybe, it's like you've said, this is a Tom Brady can do more with more than anyone out there.
Right.
Well, I mean, Tua is not going to make Scotty Miller an all-pro. But if you pair him up with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, I mean, then you got something dangerous there.
No doubt about it.
You've helped out your team and where maybe they are weak with some elite wide receivers.
Agreed. And then all the creativity they have before the snap, they stress you out.
Yes.
They get you going horizontally, right? It's, oh, wait, here goes Waddle this way, Tyreek this way. Hey, outside zone, Shanahan's zone scheme. Oh, bootleg out the other side. So they get you going this way, sideline to sideline. And then all of a sudden they do a play-action fake. And because you're going sideline to sideline, now it's like Tyreek Hill 20 yards over the middle, right? Because, hey, we've spread everybody out, so now there's kind of a hole or a window to throw into there. There's certainly a correct formula going on, to your point. There's no doubt about that. But again, what I would say is, as teams continue to gather information here with McDaniel and how he's attacking, I would think those windows become less and less wide open, and that's where you're going to have to see Tua make the plays and throws. You said it, new pieces in the secondary, the two safeties we mentioned, Demarion Williams, right, a rookie who played a lot for them, number 22. Marcus Peters is not 100%. Marlon Humphrey was a game-time decision, right? So there was a lot of issues here, right? Other thing I'll say, too, just to the Ravens side here, the Ravens, in my opinion, and I got to go back and watch here a little bit more, but to me, overplayed the run game like they were playing the 1972 Dolphins with Larry Zonka. There was too many plays where I was going, but they're not going to run it. They can't run it. They're not that good up front yet to where they're just going to dominate you. They're just getting in these formations to get easy completions. And, that was the big thing. Again, I've never seen a team that's so good at also, I know we have the deep balls in the fourth quarter, but before that, how many times did he throw a ball out into the flat or a screen pass to Tyreek Hill? And it's, whoa, he got 10 yards by throwing the ball a yard behind the line of scrimmage. They are dangerous. You heard me talk about when we did the roster thing. It's, what did I make their roster? I think they were like number 6 for me, right? I left them out of the top 5. It's one of the best rosters in the game. They're creatively coached. They're really good. Don't know why Baltimore played so aggressive to stop the run. And Baltimore, too, where I worry about them a little bit, just to hit on them for a second, is they have no run game right now. That's a little concerning. It's 2 weeks in a row, and they can't run the ball a lick on anybody.
What do you mean? Lamar Jackson, 9 carries for 119 yards.
Yeah, that's where, it's too Lamar-centric right now. And Lamar played great.
Hill was their second leading rusher with 16 yards.
Yeah, that's just not going to get it done for Baltimore Ravens football. That's not. And, so there you have, and this is what's crazy about the NFL right now. I believe it's 35-14, right? I might have this wrong either way, but Baltimore goes down on a drive, gets stopped on a 4th and 1, gives the ball back to the Dolphins on a short field, or half field.
It was at their own. Dolphins had it at their own 40.
40, right in there, right. So you're a completion away from maybe getting in field goal territory. Yep. So that the next drive is, I believe, a run that ended up in a penalty, and then it was 3 straight passes. So it was a 4 and out, basically. They get the ball back. They go score. So now you think, whoa, this 21-point lead, we're doing good. And you're going, no, you're not. It's down to a touchdown here, and it happened within, like you're talking about, 8 plays here. And all of a sudden it becomes a game. And the momentum was so heavily on Miami's side, and they just, basically the Ravens fell apart as the game went on there.
Rocky Top 42 wants to give some love to Lamar Jackson. Damn okay to Lamar. He bet on himself, and he's making the Ravens pay here. Yeah, imagine if you're Lamar Jackson, 318 yards through the air, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 119 on the ground, and everyone's talking about the other quarterback.
It's unbelievable.
Some weapons for the Ravens, though. The positive here, I'll just end with this.
Yeah.
The 2 fastest ball carriers in the NFL this week, both on the Ravens. Devin Duvernay on that kickoff return.
He was flying.
Got going 21.5 miles per hour. And Rashad Bateman was number 2.
That was surprising. Yeah, when he took off, I went, they're going to catch him. And he kind of had another gear the last 20 or 25 yards to pull away from Xavier Howard and company. So that was impressive. And, hey, their passing game looks good.
I would be almost, if I was a Ravens fan, you're devastated that you blew this game, but you're like, all right.
There's a lot of positives.
There's so many positives.
You're right. They're going to get healthier on the defensive side of the ball. They'll be better on that side of the ball. And if they can get a little run game going, the one thing is Lamar looks good. And he looks like he is on his A game, that's for sure. Now, we'll see. They got to put the rest together, certainly. But Miami is the story. Like you said, they're impressive. Miami arguably has the fastest offense in football. I don't think that's a crazy thing to say. When you couple the 2 receivers who both got 3 rockets up their ass, Gesicki's ability to run, Raheem Mostert at running back, we get a 4x100 relay. I don't think anybody's beating the Dolphins. I don't think anybody is. And even then the cast of characters they have around that at receiver too, they're not too shabby either. So they are going to be scary that way. And it'll be interesting to see, if McDaniel can keep coming up with the tricks and the formula and everything like that. And Tua keeps playing this kind of football. Shit, they're going to be tough to beat.
Mobile quarterbacks like Lamar, so fun to watch.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.